I remember the night my youngest kept waking. She was maybe 3 years old, and my mother was staying with us. It was past midnight when Mama came to the doorway of my room and found me sitting up, staring at the ceiling. She did not say a word about sleep being hard. She just went to the kitchen, and a little while later she brought me a warm cup of something that smelled like the earth after rain. She set it on the table beside me and said, very quietly, "Drink this slow." I do not know how long it took, but I woke up with morning light on my face, and I could not remember the last time I had slept that way. That cup is why I want to talk with you today. There is so much worry now about sleep, especially for women past 50. The nights grow strange. You lie awake thinking, or you wake at 2 in the morning and your mind will not still itself. The body changes and sleep changes with it. I have heard women say they feel like strangers in the night, like sleep is something that belongs to other people now. In our community, that change was never a mystery. The women before us knew it was coming, and they knew what to reach for. Not a bottle from the pharmacy, not something that leaves you foggy in the morning, wondering where the night went. What they reached for was growing in the garden, sitting in the pantry, or warming on the stove. Today, I want to share what those women knew. 5 remedies that Amish women have used for generations to bring deep, natural sleep, especially in the years when sleep becomes harder to hold. One of them surprised even me when I first learned it. I will save that one for the end. In our community, there was never a doctor at the end of the lane. The nearest town was a long ride, and most families only made that trip when something was truly serious. For everything else, the coughs, the fevers, the restless nights, the women handled it. They learned from their mothers, who had learned from theirs, and the knowledge passed the way good things always pass in plain life, quietly, through the hands and across the kitchen table. Sleep was always understood as something the body knows how to do. When it stopped coming easily, the women did not fight it. They did not reach for something to force it. They looked at what was off, the nerves wound too tight, the digestion unsettled, the blood running too warm, and they tended to that. Sleep, they believed, was the last thing to fix, not the first. You calm what is underneath, and sleep follows on its own. That is still how I think about it, and it is how I was taught. So let us begin. The first remedy is one you have almost certainly heard of, but probably not the way my grandmother used it. Valerian root. In English, it has been called nature's Valium by some, though Mama would have raised an eyebrow at that comparison. She did not think of it as something that knocked you out. She thought of it as something that unwound the knots. Valerian grows wild in parts of Pennsylvania. We kept it in the root cellar, dried, and Mama would brew it as a tea. 1 heaping teaspoon of the dried root, steeped in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. She always covered the cup while it steeped. She said the medicine was in the steam as much as the water, and she did not want it escaping into the room. I do not know if that is true, but I still cover my cup. The taste is strong. I will not pretend otherwise. It is earthy and a little bitter, and some women in our community would add a spoonful of raw honey to soften it. Drink it about 45 minutes before you intend to sleep. Do not rush the rest. Sit somewhere quiet. Let the house slow down around you. What valerian does, I believe, is calm the nervous system, the kind of tight, buzzing feeling that keeps you awake even when your body is tired. It does not put you to sleep like a drug. It is gentler than that. It tells the body it is safe to let go. The second remedy is one I make myself, every autumn without fail: passion flower tea. This one is less well known outside plain communities, but the women in my grandmother's time used it for what they called the worry mind, the kind of thinking that runs in circles at night, turning over the same concerns again and again without resolution. Passion flower grows along fences and roadsides in Lancaster County. You can dry the leaves and flowers together. 1 tablespoon of the dried herb to 1 cup of boiling water, steeped for 8 minutes. It makes a pale yellow tea with a very mild taste, much easier to drink than Valerian, and something I have given to my own daughters when their nights were troubled. There is something in passion flower that calms anxious thinking without making you feel dulled. I have read that it may work on the same part of the brain that some medications target, though I would never say that the way a doctor might. I say it the way Mama said it. This herb understands the busy mind. It knows what to do with it. You can also blend it with valerian for a stronger effect. And that brings me to something I want you to hold for a few more minutes, because what I am going to share after the next remedy is the one that surprised me most. It is the simplest thing, and it has to do with what you put on your body before bed, not what you drink. But first, the third remedy, and this one is about the kitchen, not the garden. Warm tart cherry juice. I know, it sounds almost too plain to mention, but hear me out, because the women in my community were making this long before anyone with a degree figured out why it works. Tart cherries, not sweet cherries, but the small, sour ones we would preserve in summer, contain something natural that the body uses to make sleep hormones. The women who knew this did not know the name for it. They just knew that a small cup of warm tart cherry juice in the evening brought a different kind of night, a deeper one. My mother would warm a half cup on the stove, just to the point where steam was rising, not to a boil, and drink it about an hour before bed. She added nothing to it. She said its tartness was part of the remedy, and sweetening it changed something. I have done it both ways, and I think she was right. For those who cannot easily find tart cherry juice, tart cherry concentrate works as well. 2 tablespoons in warm water, same result. It is one of the easiest things I know, and one of the most reliable. Now, the fourth remedy, the one I promised. I was in my late 30s when my aunt, who was in her 60s then, told me about this. I had been having hard nights, the kind where you sleep lightly and wake often, never feeling like you truly rested. I had tried the teas. They helped, but not enough. She took my hand and said, "You are forgetting the feet." She made me a foot soak that evening. Warm water, a handful of Epsom salts, and several drops of lavender oil. I put my feet in for 20 minutes. And I sat in her kitchen and felt something leave my body. A tension I had not known I was carrying. Travel all the way down from my shoulders, through my back, out through the soles of my feet, and into that warm water. I slept that night the way I had not slept in months. The women before us understood that the body holds its tension in the feet. We stand all day, we carry the weight of the house and the family, and the feet bear all of it. When you warm them slowly and let the Epsom salts draw out the ache, the whole body follows. The lavender is not decoration. It works through the breath, through the skin, through something the body knows even when the mind does not. I do this 2 or 3 evenings a week now. 20 minutes, always before I dress for bed. I do not rush it. I sit with a cup of tea and I let the water do what it knows how to do. My aunt also added dried chamomile flowers to the water sometimes. She said it was not necessary, but it made the ritual feel like something, and she believed that the ritual itself was half the remedy. I believe that too. The 5th remedy is the one Mama gave me on that sleepless night, and it is the simplest of all. Lemon balm. It grows easily, almost too easily. In our garden it spread every year, and we were always finding new places to put it. The leaves smell like lemon and mint together, something clean and soft. My grandmother grew it at every house she ever lived in. She said a home without lemon balm was a home that did not know how to rest. Fresh or dried, it makes a tea that tastes like summer. 1 tablespoon of dried leaves, or a small handful of fresh, steeped in hot water for 10 minutes. It is mild enough for children. It is gentle enough to drink every evening without concern. What lemon balm does is settle the nervous system in a very quiet way. It does not have the intensity of valerian. It does not have the specific focus of passion flower. It is more like sitting on the porch on a warm evening and feeling the day slowly drain away. It is ease, not sedation. For women past 50, I believe lemon balm is the most important herb in this whole list. The years bring a particular kind of alertness at night, a light sleeping, an easy waking, a sense that the body is always slightly on watch. Lemon balm speaks to that. It tells the nervous system there is nothing to watch for. You can be still now. You can rest. Mama blended it with chamomile most evenings, equal parts of each steeped together. Sometimes she added a small sprig of fresh mint. She called it her evening tea, and she drank it every night of her life for as long as I can remember. She slept deeply until the end of her days. She never once reached for a sleeping pill. I want to leave you with something she used to say when I asked her how she slept so well. She said, "I do not chase sleep, Miriam. I just make a place for it to land." That is all these remedies are, truly. You are not forcing anything. You are not tricking your body or overriding it. You are making a place, through the warm cup, the foot soak, the quiet ritual, where sleep feels welcome. Try one thing, just one, tonight if you can. Make a cup of lemon balm tea. Sit somewhere still. Do not look at a screen. Let the house slow down around you. And see if sleep does not find its way to you on its own. I believe in your body's wisdom. I believe it still knows how to rest. Sometimes it just needs a little help remembering. Take good care of yourself. I will be back next week with something I learned from the women in my grandmother's quilting circle. A remedy for something most of us carry without realizing it. I think you are going to want to hear it.